Okay, so good afternoon once more, and welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson, I want to teach you about the MySQLi release results function, MySQLi close function. Uh, in the theory topic, we learned about the super globals. So I'm going to make you aware about the super globals and just mention them again. And we're also going to create a logout page, and in that we're going to learn what is called unsetting a PHP session, which we set when we were creating the login page. We're also going to create a user-defined function, uh, really for sanitizing our data. Then we're going to search and just compare a few voting system database schemas so that it can guide us in creating our own. And you remember this, we left it last time. Maybe this time we're going to do it, editing the user details. Okay, so I think we can move on. So just as a recap, maybe I think last time, I think last time we were able to do the login page, login PHP. So we were able to do the login. I think was the password pass1 to login failed. I can't even remember the password again. Why? What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it was just 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you're logged in, you are redirected to this page, and at least we are able to print this name from the session variable. So you're taken to index. So of course, this page is not the template that we had downloaded. We need to get rid of majority of the things here and remain with what we want. But before we do that, we want to follow this. So we just want to begin by looking at MySQLi release results. Let me just copy it and do a quick search. Then we go here to W3 schools. So this is the function, and the function is used to free memory that is associated with the results. And the results that we are talking about here is the results that has been acquired by either the MySQL query function or MySQLi store results function or the MySQL use result function. So just check this example. So here we want to fetch a row, then we free the memory associated with that particular result that we have fetched. So you see here, we're just connecting to the database. Then we check whether the connection is okay. If it's okay, we go ahead and do a query. So this, we write the query, the MySQL statement, select last name, age from person, order by last name. Then we go ahead and do the query. See how we are doing the query here? So we declare a variable, results is equals to MySQLi query. Then we put the connection and the SQL statement. So whatever the rows that are going to be fetched by this query, they're going to be stored in this particular variable. So here we come and say while. Here we are looping through using the while statement. I know we've not done this. I think we used the for each. So you can also do while row is equals to MySQLi fetch row. If we want to fetch the rows one by one like that, then we loop around and print each row the data that is on the first column and the second column there. So at the end of it, when we are done, we need to release the memory associated with this variable. And to do that, we need to use this function, MySQLi free results. So far we've not been doing that, and that's the first thing I want us to do today. So we have a number of pages that we've built so far. The first one is sign up here. Let me open it. So right click, then add it to Notepad++. An update package. No, we don't want to update right now. That will eat into our time. Let me see. Did we fetch any results here? Okay, so we did not fetch any results in the sign up page. So we only posted into the database, but we did not retrieve. In the login, of course we did. So this is our login page, login.php. So if we set login, you can see that here we are writing the SQL statement. Then here we have a variable called result, which is getting the data from that particular statement. And therefore this we need to release it just after we are done using it. So the correct place to really do that should be here within the same statement, this if statement. As you can see, this one, if is set post. So we want to release this one here at the very end here. So just go back here and copy this function together with the comment really, and paste it here. So we are just releasing, we are freeing the memory, free memory. So that is the purpose of that function. Now the next one that we need to learn about today is this one here, Mysqli Close. Mysqli Close. Okay, so let's just Google it out here, or can I find it here? Okay, let's just Google it, and then we'll get the option from W3 Schools. Okay, this one, close. Okay, so here we are told that this function closes a previously opened database connection. So it is an important procedure to do so that really you can be able to close the connection, especially for security purposes, so that it cannot be exploited further than that particular point. So you see, we did the connection here. We did the connection, and at the very end of our PHP here, after we are done, maybe we're going to add another if statement. But when we are done with everything else, we've done the connection here. So when we are done with that, we need to close the connection. And to close the connection, really the function to do that is this one, Mysqli Close. So here we can comment and say, close the database connection. So connection, and then I can paste that. Our variable for the connection is called, to check this page, I can't remember, DB connect. So DB connect is here, the page. So our variable is called DB connect, isn't it? So we just copy it, then we come back to our login page and paste it like that. Let's remove that $1 sign. So we have Mysqli Close, then the variable for the database connection. So that's how we close the connection. So we've not been doing that, and it's important. So let me just copy that statement and also close the connection here in our sign up. So we also need to close the connection there because it is important. This is the DB connect, this is the index. Okay, So let me just save that and also save that. Okay, so the page should just work fine. It should just work fine going forward. Maybe I can just try. Maybe I can just try and maybe do sign up the PHP, and I create maybe another user, and maybe I can call this which other name? Maybe Sarah. So maybe Sarah Atieno. Sarah Atieno, some phone number there. This is just guesswork. Email address, maybe s@t@gmail.com. Password 1234. Agree. Yes, we agree. Then we sign her up. Okay, so you can now log in here. Does this work? Yes, it does. So I'll just click login. And now we have it. Can we log in with Sarah? I think it was s@t@gmail.com. Password is 1234. Login. Good. And you can see that we have Sarah Atieno. So you can see, even with the introduction of those functions, our pages are still able to work on correctly. So that is what exactly I was testing. So now you know how to use MySQLi release function and MySQLi close function. Okay, so let's move on and look at PHP Super Globals. We did have a look at this during the theory class, and maybe we can just have a recap. I just want to show you. Let me just Google. Still go to W3 schools. Super Globals. Okay, so we have globals, we have server, we have request, we have post, we have get, we have session, we have cookie, environment, we have file. So really, the one that I want us to use right now, I want us to tweak our code just a little bit to accommodate, is the server. Now, for the server, we have several options. One of them being PHP_self, another one server name, another one HTTP host etc. So let me just try this out so that you see the output. So for the self, it should give us the exact location of this particular page, you see? So it's in a folder called demo, and the page is named demo_global_server.php. So it gives us the location of this particular page. Yeah? So that is what $_server PHP_self is all about. Server name and HTTP host will give you the IP address of the server. Referrer will give you the fully qualified domain name, something like that. HTTPS, blah, 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 etc. And the other ones. Okay, so how can we use this in our code? We want to tweak our code just a little bit so that we have this. Let me just copy this because it's just gonna be like that. Now, for example, in our sign up page here, let me scroll down to our form. Okay, here is our form. So you can see here, I'm just zooming in a little bit. You can see here on action, we put a hashtag. A hashtag means the page that is going to process this form data is this same page. The PHP is in this same page. So we can use that, or we can actually type sign up. We can just type signup.php, which is actually the location of the name of our page. So when we type this, it will know that we are supposed to do it here. But the other way to do it is to use echo. Let me just return this there. So we can do echo. Let me close this PHP here. This, maybe put it here. Good. There. Okay. So this is how we can do it now with this particular super global, the server super global. So what we do is $_server, then PHP self. So what we simply mean is that in order to process this form, please go to this page, and this page really is the same page, PHP self. So that's how we can change our code there. So we can just copy this maybe, and also do it on the login form. So on the login form, where are you? Our login form, you're here. So we also did action hashtag, but you can just change it. You can just change it to that action echo server PHP self. So let me save that. Let me try whether they still work. So that's why you're supposed to have a lot of test data, really in your project, because every time you're changing things, you need to test with a different person, for example. So this time maybe I can have Simon Wanjohi, something like that, 0759, like that. Are those too many characters? Okay. Email maybe s wanjohi@gmail.com. Password 1234. Do you agree? Yes. Sign up. Okay, value must be less than or equal to that. So I think I have more characters there. Let me delete one. Sign up. Value must be greater than or equal to that. Let me just 07 909090. Okay, sign up. Okay, so successful login. Okay, so let's do the email s1johi@gmail.com. 1 2 3 4. Good, and we are able to log in again. So again, we've just tested, and indeed, even after changing this to PHP self, our page works. So the other super global that we looked at really is the session. Of course, we've also looked at post. And we have also looked at session. Wait, session here. Not here. Maybe it was covered somewhere. But okay. So just as a reminder, in the login page, we created a session, and that session is what we are using in the index page. So just to mention again, for you to use a session, you must first of all create the session function at the very top of your PHP page. So session_start. That's how you do it. And then yeah, when the login is successful, the password they are equal, and we create a session. So we created a session for the first name, and we created a session for the second, or for the other names. So we just created those two, but we can be able to create even more, including for the ID, etc., etc. Reason as to why we are creating a session is so that we can be able to access this data that we are getting from the database. We can be able to access it on the other pages without having to retrieve that data from the database again. So that's the purpose of creating sessions. The session is a variable that is stored in the server. And therefore, when you go to other pages, you can access those particular sessions that you've already created. So when you go to index.php, we accessed the session. Again, in order to deal with sessions, you must do this, session start. So how did we access the session? By simply doing $_session, then the name of the session. So the same thing we had created, here. So now to use it, we create a variable, then we hold it like that. So we created a session for the first name and other names, and that is what we are printing out. Where are we printing out? Here. Echo first name. And I think if we scroll to the left, we are also echoing the other names like that. So we are getting that from the session. So from the login here, other than the first name and the other name, remember we selected star here. So we can pick the other details for the user. For example, their ID, their phone number, and store them in a session. So we can do that. Let's just have a look at, so we can go away from this. So we can do localhost php myadmin to just have a look at our database. So php myadmin. So, okay, so our database is called voting. It's here. We have one table so far, the user table. Just click on it there. So far we have a number of people we've entered there. So we have the contact, we have the email address, we have the ID. So I'm just saying that we can store these other details too on a session, so that we can use them, for example, when we want to edit those details later on. So I just want to pick the ID, the contact, the email address, even the password, if possible, just those. So let me do exactly that. To do that, I'll just put my cursor there and do Control-D in order to duplicate this. I'll just remove this and remove this, and then I'll duplicate that again and again and again, because I want to pick the ID. So ID. The other thing I want to pick is the contact. The contact. So here, I'll show you how we're going to use this when we edit the details of these users. So contact. Remember, user here is what we are getting from the database, MySQL fetch. So we're just creating a session to hold that particular contact. And then we also want to hold the email address and the password. Email address, password. Okay. So email address, password. Email address, password. Okay, so please just remember, I'm just using the same name as the one on the database for the session for easy remembrance. Otherwise, they don't have to be the same. Like this one can just be email, just like that. This one can be F name instead of first name. So I hope you get the difference. As long as if I change it to F name here on index, when I want to access it, I have to change it to F name here. I have to change it to F name like that. So they don't have to be the same. So I hope you understand that. Let me just undo so that we get back to that. Let me also undo here. Okay, and undo again for the email so that we have email address. Okay, so I have all those sessions, so let me just save. And now, after we've done that, we now want to do a simple but very important thing. We want to create a logout. We want to create a logout page. We want to create a logout page. So to do that, I can do Control N to create a new page here. Then I can just create the PHP tag, PHP, like that. And then the first thing we have to do here is to do session start. Session start, like that. Let me just save this. So I have to go to voting system 164 www voting system. So I just want to call this logout.php. I can even change here to PHP. Aye. PHP logout. Okay, save. So for the logout page, it's normally a page that does not have a lot of stuff really. So the first thing you must have is session start, and then after that you need to unset. You need to unset the variable. So let's just Google unset PHP variable. So unsetting a PHP variable really is like deleting it. So let's go to W3 schools. So unset function unsets a variable. Let's see the example here. So we have a is equals to hello world. The value of variable a before unset is that. And then when we unset a, then the value will be that. So let's just try it. See. So for this code, really, for this code, you can see that the value of a before we unset it is hello world, like that. After we use the unset here, the unset function. What did I search? Did I search unset session? Okay. Okay, so after we use the unset function, then even though we print it, nothing is there. So we don't have anything in that variable. It's now an empty variable, so we don't have anything. So that's the first function that you can use to unset a variable or even a session, if I'm not wrong. The PHP session variable. Stock overflow, W3 school. Let's see. Session start, session, get to the values, modify session variables, destroy a PHP session. To remove all global session variables and destroy the session, use session unset and session destroy. Okay, so we have this one. Destroy all the session variables, destroy a particular session, like that. So we have that, and we have the unset functions. So those are the two ways you can do it. So let's begin, for example, let's begin with the unset. So let me show you. unset individual session variables. So to do that, we need to go to our login page. These are the variables that we set, so we want to unset them. I'm just going to copy, then I come to logout here, then I paste, then I just want to delete this stuff. Sorry, I deleted the semicolon. I didn't to delete it. So I want to delete that. I want to delete this. I want to delete this. To delete this. To delete this, so that we just left with the session variable. Okay, so to use the unset function, you just do unset. Then you put this session variable inside the unset function. So just like that. Unset like that. Then like that. Then you unset the next one. Set. Then here. Then set this one. And set. Then here. Then you unset this one. Then here. Like that. Forgot to unset this one, so unset. Then we unset like that. So let me take this back. So you can select multiple lines, then you do Shift Tab to take them back. So Tab alone takes them forward. To take them back, Shift and Tab to take them back like that. Okay, so that's how we unset. After unsetting them, we want to redirect the user. Redirect the user to the login page, something like that. Yeah. So to do that, of course, you can use the location. What is it called? There's a function we used in the login, so we can just check it again. Header is. So this time, when they are coming here, we want them to be taken to login PHP. So this is how our logout page is gonna look like. So start the session, then unset the sessions, then redirect the user to the login page. So let me save this. Now we need to update our our index page, this page here, and make it have a logout. Maybe we can put the logout here. It's actually there, so we just change this to the location of our page, this one, logout, this one. So let's find out where it is in index.php. So let's go back here, index.php. I can do Control F for find, then I search logout. We don't have logout. Log space out. Okay, so it's here. So that's the easiest way to search. You can see really that this is on line 384. So if we were to scroll down line by line, we could have gone for quite some time. So Control F is a good way of finding whatever you want. So we just want to change this. Instead of href login.html, we have it as login.php, like that, just like that. So we are not deleting the other stuff so far. We don't want to delete the other stuff. So we just save this. So, okay. Something else I wanted to show. Okay, I'll actually show you before I refresh. Okay, so look here. Without logging out, because we are not destroying the session, if I go back, it takes me to the login, the login page. So I'm doing that using this, the forward and back arrow on the browser, these ones. Now I can go forward and it will take me back to the index, and it's going to show me this Simon Wanjohi, because I have not logged out. This session was not destroyed. So what do I do? Let me refresh this. So if I come here now, if I put it on logout, you can see that now the location has changed. Here, down here, you can see the location now is on. Did I put login instead of logout? Sorry, I need to change that. I think I put it as login instead of logout. Oh, here, it's supposed to be logout. It's supposed to be log out, like that. That is what we've saved this page as, logout. So that is supposed to be logout.php. Okay, so save it, go back, refresh, and now if we check this on the bottom there, you can see that it's gonna redirect us to logout.php. So let me just click it, and boom, it takes out to logout. Then logout redirects us back to login, you see. And if I try to access index, now, index.php, you can see that we have undefined sessions, because these sessions are not there. We have undefined sessions, other name and another one there. So we don't have those sessions because we've already unset them. So that's one way of unsetting. Now the other way, which is very easy, is using the session unset function. So this one here, let me just copy it. So the reason why we're saying it's easy is because all these lines can be replaced with that single line. So it will work the same way. So save. So I'm sure most of you are going to be using this, but in case you want to unset just a single session, you can always do it that. But for the logout, this is the most ideal. Session unset, and it's gonna destroy all of them. So let me just save that. Then I can go back to the login and maybe login with the was it? We had Simon Wanjohi. Wanjohi, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, logged in. If I log out, will it work? Yes, it's working. If I come here and type index.php, you can see that they are undefined. Now, to protect some of